So if you are doing the Edexcel iGCSE, when you turn over your paper, the first thing you will see will be the formulas. And these formulas are given to you in the exam. But let's go through them so you can prepare for them and you know what they are. So the first one you're going to see is gross profit. And gross profit is simply your revenue minus your cost of sales. The other thing you'll need to know, which is related to the gross profit, is the gross profit margin, measured as a percentage. And the formula for that is gross profit, which you had there, which is just simply revenue minus cost of sales, and gross profit divided by the revenue times by 100, which makes the percentage, and that is the gross profit margin. In terms of these details, where would you find them? So you're going to find this on what's known as the statement of profit or loss. You might see it in the UK, known as the trading profit and loss account. The third formula that you're going to see is operating profit. And operating profit is simply gross profit that you calculated earlier on, and it's gross profit minus operating expenses, sometimes just called expenses. And operating profit margin relates closely to operating profit because it is simply operating profit divided by revenue times by 100 and therefore calculated as a percentage. You will also find these numbers on the statement of profit or loss, otherwise known in the UK as the trading profit and loss account. And the next one is return on capital employed, ROCE. And that is simply operating profit, which you've calculated here earlier on, divided by the capital employed. So all that debt and all that equity added up, times by 100, and that gives you a percentage. And this is simply just showing you how much return you've got from all the investments you've made in your business, all that capital employed, being the debt and the equity summed together. So if we look at where you find that from, you'll in fact find that in two places. The top half, the operating profit, well, that's going to be found in the statement of profit or loss, otherwise known as the profit and loss account. But the bottom half, the capital employed, you will find that on a different financial statement, and you will find that on the statement of financial position, otherwise or previously known as the balance sheet. Remember, for that, you need to make sure that it's times by 100 because ROCE, return on capital employed, will come as a percentage. Let's look at the next one. So the next one is current ratio, and the current ratio is simply the current assets being current, being short term. So short term assets, they would be cash, debtors and inventory. Inventory sometimes called stock. So current assets, cash, inventory, debtors divided by current liabilities. Remember, current means short term, so short term things that you owe, very likely to be creditors when you are on credit to your suppliers. Maybe your suppliers of raw materials or components. Where will you find this information? You will also find this information on the statement of financial position, otherwise known as the balance sheet, or previously known as the balance sheet. Let's go to the next one. So the next one is the acid test ratio, which is very closely related to the current ratio and is simply current assets, which you actually had there, but you're taking away your inventory, which is the same thing as your stock. So you're taking away your stock, sometimes known as the quick test ratio because it shows your immediate liquidity. So current assets minus inventory, all divided by current liabilities, and that will give you your acid test ratio. And you will also find this on the statement of financial position, otherwise known as the balance sheet. And the last one that you will see is markup. Markup measured as a percentage. And that is your profit per item, your profit per unit, divided by the cost to make that unit, times by 100, giving you the percentage. And where you'll find this, well, it's more about how you'll calculate it. And that's simply your profit per item, otherwise known as your unit. Well, that's simply going to be your selling price, so how much you're selling it for, your sales price, minus the cost to make that one unit. Simply calculate that profit per item from this formula here. You'll get your cost per item, and then you can work out the markup as a percentage. So I hope now you know what to expect when you turn over that exam paper, and this should help you psychologically prepare. I'll see you at the next video.